storage warehouse and test facility. Let's see what we're rolling out this issue. Got ourselves a nice Acura, it seems. Nice blue paint job too. I'm told this is all new for 2021, so it must be true. This is the TLX, which starts around $38,000, a jump from last year when it started at $33,000. We're getting more goodies this time around, justifying the price. This is the upgraded TLX SH-AWD Advance, AWD all-wheel drive. As you can see, this costs a bit more money. And there's a total with shipping, but everything is standard. I'll just scroll down real quick. There's only one engine offered, a 2.0 liter, putting out 272 horsepower, hooked to a 10-speed automatic transmission. Two-wheel drive, or in this case, all-wheel drive we have here. Fuel economy is listed 21 in the city, 29 on the highway. Unless you get the front-wheel drive, it's 2231. There is a potent V6 model coming out later on in the year, something around 355 horsepower, starting around 50 grand. I'll be looking forward to that one, if I can get it. We also tested the 2020 Acura RDX, put 600 miles on that, with the same basic engine we have in this Acura TLX. We'll have a link to that video coming up at the end of this video, if you want to watch that. We also drove the Honda Civic Type R, 306 horsepower, more than this Acura. Nice car, less money. If you want to watch that video, we'll have that at the end of this video as well. So you get 3 videos for the price of 1. The first thing we want to do when checking out a vehicle is see if there's a spare tire. You'd be surprised how many don't have one, and even though you get 49 grand, no spare tire, just a cheesy repair kit. Fine for small leaks, but on big tire splits, not going to help you. You'll end up needing a tow truck. If you do interstate trips, I suggest you get a spare tire and wheel. For myself, I have a super duper repair kit, about 4 cans of stop leak and 2 heavy duty air pumps. Better than nothing, and better than what they supply. The next thing we want to do is take out these multi-bulb headlights and see what they do in the dark. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, looks like 7, and we'll find out. Well, it's dark. Let's see what these headlights do. And I see the heads-up display is bright enough to see, although it might be a bit fuzzy on the camera here. Here we have the low beams on a wall 100 feet away, very bright. Height, average enough. Good for city driving, I suppose. High beams, very bright. High beams on the building 300 feet away. Very bright, very wide. No problem here. Go to low beam. Goes out about 80% to the way on the right and around 60% on the left. Overall, pretty good headlights. And here's what the rear view camera looks like in the dark. I think we can make this bigger somehow, but I don't know how to do that yet. Oh, there you go. Made it bigger and brighter. Since the Honda and Acura people are into high-tech stuff, you think the headlights would turn with the steering wheel. Apparently not on this car. That's okay. And the next item to do is disconnect all the so-called safety nannies. Go down the menu to Driver Assist System Setup. And here's your menu. The feature I definitely wanted to get rid of was the so-called lane assist, which is really nothing more than lane interference, where the steering wheel decides to take over because it doesn't like the way you're steering or going through lanes without using a turn signal, etc. Apparently, once you disconnect this, it stays off. You don't have to redo it every time you start the car. Plus points there. And you already see the infotainment screen. I'm told it's 10.5 inches, it looks to be. Instead of a control stick, you get the finger touch system, which I don't like, but some people do. Take your pick. It takes some practice to use this. Fortunately, there's a real volume knob. Thank you, Acura. There's another knob, the dynamic mode. Gives you sport, normal, and comfort operations. Plus an individual mode. Nice movie we get to see, right? One item of controversy, although there really shouldn't be, is the push-button transmission system. I think this is the best shifter on the planet. It eliminates all the problems of the previous shifters. This doesn't take up any space. It's almost impossible to get the wrong gear. You'd have to be a total idiot. And on top of that, you don't even have to look at it. I can go by feel. Keep my eyes on the road. This is a nice system. It should be on all cars, but like I said, some people just don't like this. The auto start stop, where the engine shuts off at a stoplight to save fuel, you can disconnect it by pushing this button. Yes, you have to do it every time you start the car, but it's not that hard. There's an excellent gauge cluster with lots of useful information. Just a wee bit of glare, but nothing serious. Nice push buttons on the steering wheel. Paddle shifters on the steering wheel where they belong, not on the steering column like the Italians do where they don't belong. Although manually shifting 10 gears gets to be a chore for your fingers after a while. But it's there if you want it. The glove box size is decent enough. There's room for 2 full-size adults in the back, maybe 3, but you do have that hump on the floor to accommodate the all-wheel drive system. By the way, this is a marijuana processing plant they just built, and whew, I can smell it. Guess they're working already. Whew, I'm getting hungry. Better take a break. Overall, this is a very nice cabin. I think the Acura owners will be happy with it. Very nice leather, too. The first half of the video, show and tell, is over. Now we'll go out and do some driving. Get some fuel economy readings as well. Let's see how this takes corners in the sport mode. A lot of body lean. And the tires are set for the 32 pounds required. Not bad. And remember, this is the all-wheel drive version, not the two-wheel drive. So all the comments pertain to this particular model, not the other. As we do in all of our videos, we're going to take some mild speed humps around 20 miles per hour to evaluate the suspension performance on impact. And we do have it in the comfort mode this time. Here comes bump number 1. Pretty smooth. Number 2. Number 3. And the nasty one. Yeah, I felt that one, but it wasn't too bad. Let's do that again in the sport mode. See if it makes any difference. Here comes number 1. No difference. And number 2. Yeah, I'm not seeing that much difference. We'll find out on the nasty one. Yeah. Felt that one, but not too bad. The power steering system on this vehicle seems a little bit too light for me. Doesn't have much feel either, but it's quick and responsive, and that seems to be what Acura owners want, and that's what they'll get. Acceleration-wise, it's hard for me to judge whether this is quick or not, because after driving a 600 horsepower Mercedes-Benz for a week, Everything seems slow to me. In any case, let's do a 0 to 60 time. And the sport mode. So far we've added up 102 miles, all heavy city driving, short trips of 1 or 2 miles each. As you can see, 17.6. We're going to take a highway trip, see if we can bump up the numbers. So do a reset and off we go. The comfort mode works great in city driving, but on the highway it's a bit too soft and wobbly for me, so the normal mode is what I use and works better overall. In general, the car is quiet and smooth, but there's a lot of rumbling noises from the tires and wheels on rough pavement. Something you just have to get used to. Otherwise, the car is pretty quiet, especially with the low wind noise. One thing I'm definitely glad about, I was able to disconnect the lane assist system that controls the steering wheel and keep it off permanently. That is one feature I do not like. And if you aren't texting or reading the newspaper while you're driving, you don't need that anyway. You should be learning how to drive and control the wheel by yourself. Just tossed in my little 2 cents worth on the opinion there. We're coming to the end of the trail. Let's pull over and see what the fuel economy says. Here we go, 38 miles, 24.7 mpg. Okay, we got 24.6 on the first trip, going slightly uphill. 29.1 on the return trip, going slightly downhill. So add 25 to 29, divide it by 2. That's around, what, 27 mpg? Something like that. As you can see, the bright setting does a great job on the backcountry roads as far as headlight power goes. Really lights up the road. I can see those signs about a mile down the road. We're going to take this on some backcountry roads with tight corners, so let's make sure we have it in the sport mode. There we go. That looks cool, doesn't it? There's one thing I do not like about this vehicle, and that is when you put it in the sport mode, it doesn't shift to red line. It shifts slightly under the red line, defeating the whole purpose of having a sport mode. Of course, you could always use the paddle shifters to get red line, but using your fingers to go through 10 gears is kind of awkward and clumsy. Do we really need a 10-speed transmission? Maybe not. Works pretty good in drive mode, though. This car has a lot of body lean and tight corners at high speed, but the all-wheel drive seems to do a pretty good job of sticking to the pavement anyway. And that's what it's all about, right? And while the steering doesn't have much feel or feedback, it's quick enough, which is what most Acura owners will want anyway. Especially when driving on a road like this. Even though I think I'd rather have a V6 engine, this little 4-cylinder loves to be driven hard like this. Seems rather happy. It loves to rev. Well, terrific. A skunk ran out in front of the car. I couldn't stop in time, and oh, does this smell. I think someone at Acura is going to be very upset when I get this car back. Oof. Oh my gosh. Poor skunk. So after a week of driving, what's my take on this Acura TLX? Well, if someone hands me the keys and says, take it out and drive it, and doesn't tell me the cost, I'd say it's an excellent car. If they hand me the keys and a $50,000 bill to pay for it, I got kind of mixed emotions there, because for that kind of money I'd rather have something more powerful under the hood, and they don't offer the V6 anymore. But they do have that super powerful 355 horsepower V6 coming. Now that one I think I'm really going to like. And I suspect most Acura owners aren't going to be horsepower hungry like I am and will be satisfied with this sophisticated 4-cylinder engine. It drives nice, loves to rev, and they're pretty reliable. Overall, this is a nice car. And I think the owners will be pretty satisfied with the end product. Here's some videos to other Acura and Honda products we've driven. Just click and watch.